Title deciders: how Arsenal and Man City's title run-ins compare as tense Premier League race enters thrilling final straight. Hello. Welcome to our channel. Before anything else, please subscribe and leave a like. Arsenal take an 8-point lead into the international break as the Premier League title race is put on pause for a fortnight. The Gunners' 4-1 victory over Crystal Palace meant they took full advantage of Manchester City being preoccupied by the FA Cup. And while Pep Guardiola's men now have a game in hand, they know they have significant ground to make up if they are to clinch a 5th title in 6 years. The defending champions have 11 matches remaining, a run which begins at home to Liverpool on April 1st. Arsenal then return to domestic action by hosting Leeds later on the same day. But how do both teams' run-ins look across the final 2 months of the Premier League campaign? Arsenal's run-in. Mikel Arteta can take positives from his side's Europa League exit, as it means they now have one sole focus. That begins with what should be a routine win over relegation-threatened Leeds at the Emirates. But the following weekend things threaten to get tougher for Arsenal as they head to Anfield to take on Jurgen Klopp's wounded Liverpool. That is followed up by a London derby against West Ham, a pair of away games which could prove tricky to navigate. A kind clash at home to Southampton follows, but 5 days later they will then travel to the Etihad for a potential title decider against Man City. Defeat against Guardiola's men could derail Arteta's side 3 days before they host Chelsea in another blockbuster derby. And the tricky run continues with matches away at Newcastle and at home to Brighton. Should Arsenal come through those 4 games against Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle and Brighton, they would then be the overwhelming favourites to clinch the title. That is because their final 2 fixtures come against Nottingham Forest and Wolves. Man City's run-in. Man City's quest to chase down Arsenal begins at home to longtime title rivals Liverpool on April 1st. If they can come through unscathed, fixtures against Southampton and Leicester follow in what is a promising couple of games to try and pick up maximum points. But then City are handed the challenge of 3 successive matches against top-half opposition. A trip to Brighton is followed up just 3 days later with the crunch 6-pointer at home to Arsenal. Then within 96 hours of the mouth-watering tussle with the Gunners, they are then on the road again travelling to Fulham. If City drop below their usual level for any of those games, then the title could be in Arsenal's hands by the time they leave Craven Cottage on April 30th. However, a successful run of form could hand City the initiative heading into their final 4 matches. They begin at home to Leeds, before a trip to Everton is followed up by the hosting of Chelsea. A tricky final day clash away at Brentford is City's final task of the campaign, but this team have experience of sealing titles in the final hour, so you would not expect them to slip up if it was all still to play for.